you to a battle on Route 45, the Keystone Clash inside Rec Hall as the Bucknell Bison travel just an hour westward to take on the 12th ranked. But they got to win over Oral Roberts, trying to get some momentum going, and head coach Jeremy Young said, you know, this is when you're playing power 4 opponents, they're going to get kills no matter what, but it's about adapting to their style while also playing your brand of volleyball. It's that balancing act for the Bison.
It really is, and I think for either side, it's just a turning point match. I mean, we're still just getting the feel of the regular season here, but for both sides, it's a must-win game to get their season back on track.
Penn State, number 12 in the country, a 3-3 record, 1-1 at home this year. Bucknell is 1-4. They were 10-2 on the road in games last season.
And Penn State, like you mentioned, dropped that game straight sets to Kentucky at home. They did not lose a single match last season at home, so that was quite the disappointing loss for Penn State fans.
Yeah, especially on their banner-raising night. They had some of the seniors back, but we are about to get things underway once and for all from Happy Valley. Addie Lyon, the starting center, back to serve for the Nittany Lions. Let's rock and roll from Rec Hall. Underneath it's O'Connell. Be a swing from Frazelis. Rinse repeat on the opposite pin. And the first kill goes the way of the Bison in Tiana Kostic. The opposite out of Burr Ridge, Illinois. 1-0 Bucknell.
Bucknell doing a good job to get right off the bat, stay aggressive, and show Penn State that they're going to come out firing.
The 6'1 senior Kostic sends it away. Lyon sets for Caroline Jaravicius, dug up on the back row. Off speed from Fraslitz and beats Lyon on the near side. And Bucknell starts off hot.
The double block there from Maggie Mendelson just wasn't enough, just a little bit over their fingertips. And Bucknell is finding the spots where Penn State is leaving open.
First contact from Selman. A miscommunication that Grimes sends a free ball over. Straight away, rejected by Maggie Mendelson at the net. Now to Rodriguez. Selman out of the back row. Easy dig from Cameron Lloyd. And a block from Mendelson and the freshman Alexis Ewing to get Penn State's first points of the match.
Long rally there. I think both teams are just trying to get a feel of how the other team plays. I mean, they saw them practice, they can watch the film, but it's a little bit different when you come out against them, and so just getting their feet a little bit wet in this match.
There's truly nothing like in-game experience.
There really is not.
Jocelyn Nathan to serve for the Nittany Lions. The junior DS. O'Connell a tough set. Free ball from Riley Tucker. Straight ahead is Mendelson, and the block goes out of play. So Penn State evens it up real quickly with Maggie Mendelson getting on the kill board.
O'Connell and Tucker there just tried to send that ball back over, but just a little bit too harsh of an angle wouldn't go their way.
Mendelson had a very strong match against New Hampshire, really finding some swagger back in the 6'5 middle blocker out of North Ogden, Utah. Swing from Frazelis from a rough spot. Lyon sets for Emmy Selman and gets it down in the back row, and one of our players to watch gets her first kill of the evening, Emmy Selman.
Absolutely, she showed her power on that one. She's able to position the ball really well. She found the corner there, and she knows how to use the court to her advantage. She is a very smart player, and we'll look at where the players are positioned.
A member of the 2024 Big Ten All-Freshman team. She shared that honor at Ohio State with Caroline Jaravicius from Penn State, now playing on the same team. And speaking of Jaravicius, finds the back corner and gives the point to Penn State.
That one was certainly close on the back line, but it was in there. Penn State capitalizing early on the corners.
And of course, if you're Caroline Jaravicius, someone that just likes to swing it full send, playing with that back line can be tough, but she finds the hardwood, finds the line, and finds the kill. Jocelyn Nathan finds the net, so Bucknell will get a point back. That terminates a 4-0 scoring run from the Nittany Lions and brings the libero/outside hitter. Don't see that distinction often on the roster, but Cameron Lloyd, the junior out of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, sends it off. Play at the net. And Della Rodriguez tried to slam it, but nobody was home, and Penn State gets a point.
She just had a little bit too much air under that one, not exactly the direction she was going for, and just couldn't find the inside line.
You get that free swing when you're kind of off the overpass. Your eyes get wide, just misjudged it a bit. Here comes this cross court from Frazelis. Good dig from Lyon. Here comes Caroline Jaravicious. Selman keeps it in the air. Can Bucknell get it down this time? No. Tried the same move, and it doesn't go Bucknell's way either time. The swing was by Sydney Schaefer, the middle blocker. Couldn't find the hardwood, found the blue Terraflex, which is out of play.
Good save by Selman there. Her and Grimes really putting together, try to keep those balls from going out of bounds.
Swing from Rodriguez, got it through the block of Hopp and Jaravicious. So Sydney Schaefer, the Patriot League first teamer last season, gets her first kill of the night. Puts Bree Frazelis to serve. 5'10" outside hitter. A lot of returning members on this Bucknell team. That is something that continuity is a great thing, and a violation at the net goes the way of the Bison.
Like you mentioned it, Penn State, a totally different team this year. I mean, the national champions, but they lost a lot of seniors last year. Names like Jess Ruzick and other names out there, Cameron Hanna, and just other names that they need to replace this year.
And a kill from Caroline Jaravicious. Beats Lord on the back line. But back to your point, yeah, Penn State loses a lot of veteran presence, and it's one thing to lose a lot of guys that get kills, that get points on the board, that win you a national championship, but also that senior aspect of a lot of leadership, and some of those players have to step up into those roles.
Absolutely, and Penn State's still trying to figure out early in their season who will be stepping up for them.
A top serve spin from Caroline Jaravicious, but Schaefer gets it down between the block. Don't often see Jaravicious behind the line to serve. Katie Schumacher-Colley putting some trust in her behind the line.
Bucknell is looking really well tonight. I mean, Penn State had a 4-0 scoring run, but Bucknell's keeping it close just because they're behind 1 point. They've been getting the sneaky kills in there that make them difficult to defeat.
Lyon sets for Selman. One-hand punch up by Lloyd. From the midpoint, getting it down is Kostic. Tough angle, doesn't matter, and Bucknell ties it up.
She found that back corner, and like I've said before, that back corner has been dangerous so far today. 3 of the points on the board, finding just the edge for both sides.
At the net, off the slide, Jordan Hopp. The middle blocker gets on the board, and that's a move that she probably learned from Maggie Mendelson last year, but Jordan Hopp doing a lot more in the lateral motion department early on this season for the Nittany Lions.
She has been, and there was a really good angle on that ball. I mean, it was almost at the floor, and there was just nothing Bucknell could do about it.
Having a good slide move is a trait of a very good middle blocker, and Jordan Hopp, a lot of experience, the 6-year senior, the former Iowa State Cyclone. How about another one for number 5 in blue and white? 6'2" out of Alliance, Nebraska, Jordan Hopp has come up with some big moments stepping into that starting middle block, getting the starting nod. Of course, we might see a lot of Gabrielle Nichols as well. How about Alexis Ewing getting her first kill, and Penn State first to double digits?
Almost a free ball there, but she executed that ball so well. She set up the kill perfectly and was able to send it into the floor.
In that game against New Hampshire on Sunday, every healthy player on the Nittany Lions team had some playing time. That included Alexis Ewing, who hit .455 with 6 kills, only 1 error. Giving another kill to Emmy Selman. It's a 4-0 run now for the Nittany Lions, their second such streak. We're not even halfway through set 1 yet.
I feel like there's so many scoring run streaks when Penn State goes to the court. I mean, that's their forte, is putting on the pressure early. And like I say, Bucknell there getting a point. But back to my point, Penn State likes to go on those scoring runs. They like to score as many points as possible in a row to just keep the pressure on their opposing team.
Puts Emily Carney behind the line, the 5'4" sophomore out of Oakton, Virginia, checking into the game for the first time today for the Bison. Awkward set for Selman, leads to an overpass. Hopp off the top of the block, perfectly placed. Jordan Hopp coming alive early on.
Bucknell just tipped that one. Too many hands in the front of the court, nobody in the back. And when they're set up like that, it leads to dangerous for the ball going out of bounds.
Puts Hop at the serving spot. Has an ace on the season. Joust at the net. And it goes the way of the Nittany Lions. Ewing and Mendelson were there, out-muscling the Bucknell front line. They're up 5. Puts Hop behind the line again. Their second season in Happy Valley, and that one is far out of play. The second service error of the early game for Penn State. Currently hitting 625 to Bucknell's 333. Bucknell was giving them a bit of a run for their money a few points ago. Lyon back sets Mendelson. Grimes right there for the dig. Now the opposite ping with Ewing. She get a touch? Yes, she did. And Coach Katie Schumacher-Colley really talked about the development and the evolution of Alexis Ewing in only a few months on campus. And you could see it from her first starts early in the season, game 1, game 2, to now. Almost seems like a different player.
It really does. And as a freshman coming into a national championship winning team, it's not easy. But like we said, Penn State looking for a different change in leadership, and Alexis Ewing coming in firing.
And a block from Mendelson and Ewing again. Flops down, and they extend their lead to 6.
Ewing is playing very experienced. She's disciplined. She knows how to set up her shots on the court, and she's using them.
15-9 Penn State up on the Bison in set 1. We'll be right back after this on Big E. Anything more to say about Katie Schumacher-Colley in her 4th season, a national champion as a player at Penn State and now as a coach, the first D1 women's volleyball coach, female national champion, an 87-22 record with her time in Happy Valley at the helm of the program.
She did such great work last year. She really knew how to coach the team that she had. She had very experienced players, but sometimes they would not know how to work together, and I think that's one of the things that she does best, is melding the players together with their strengths and putting together a full force team. Yeah,
despite any turnover in Penn State, a lot of the coaches that we've talked to have just said at the end of the day they're going to be well coached. And a big swing, a big punch from Bree Frazelis. So out of the timeout, Bucknell gets a point.
And Jeremy Young coming in, I mean, he is just trying to get his second win under his belt. But he did get his first, and he comes into the Lions' den, literally, to try to get that second one.
A prior assistant with the team as well, so does have experience with this Bucknell squad. Swing from Jaravicious, splits the block, kept up in the back row by O'Connell. And at the net, Maggie Mendelson, Alexis Ewing, and that run.
They are just a dynamic duo. I mean, they go up to the net, and more times than not, they are able to execute that block quite well.
Especially when you have a freshman and a senior working together, shows a more chemistry from the top down, that everyone is equal regardless of if you've been at Penn State for 4 years or just 4 months. Swing from Frazelis and the block out of play. Good setup from Jaravicious and Mendelson, just can't get it down on the hardwood.
And I'd say you don't see that often. I mean, it's not rare that a freshman is on the starting squad, but to have a senior and a freshman working together, especially on a team that was so experienced, is a little bit uncommon.
Tough serve from Lloyd. Selman tries to go campfire, but recycled by Frazelis. Off-speed swing from number 10, Rodriguez. Selman tried to go cross-court, no touch.
Selman had a good tip on that earlier in the point, but just when it came to push comes to shove, she just missed the execution down the line.
Selman not really too big in the error department, but has struggled at times to get the points, only hitting 172 on the season. Maggie Mendelson, though, big swing, big power. Another point for the blue and white.
She is really coming out firing today. Her block game, she's been all over that ball, it seems, and she's just coming out so aggressive.
This is the middle blocking unit that really seems to have gotten more diverse in their skill sets. Doesn't matter off the slide, straight away, double block, solo stuff. Doesn't matter. Selman looking for the touch, and again, doesn't get it. Penn That was a point that Jeremy Young, talking with us before the game, said I want to try to feed the middles more, get them more involved, become a more well-rounded unit. Service error for Bucknell, though, gets a point back for the Nittany Lions.
That's their first service error of the match so far. But going back to your point there, I mean, Bucknell strengthening their middle is really important when going up against such a tough team like Penn State to try to eliminate any sort of room or weakness that they may have had in their previous matches.
They were outblocked by UNC 9-7 in their loss down in North Carolina, an invitational they were playing. So they do have some Power 4 experience this year. They played both UNC and Iowa State, ironically enough, Jordan Hopp's former team, out of the Big 12. Penn State currently up 4, make it up 5 with another Nittany Lions service, or Bucknell service error. So Bucknell calls a timeout. We'll take one as well here in set number 1. Penn State up 5 on the Bison. Back at you from Rec Hall. Penn State up 19-14 in set 1 on the Bison. Jack Raczynski alongside Ali Winskowski. Penn State all-time against Bucknell. 8-0, the first time in modern rally scoring that these two teams are playing. And a little fact about the last time these two teams played, September 6, 2000. And who led the way for Penn State in kills? Some outside hitter named Katie Schumacher. I wonder what she's up to these days.
Sounds a little bit familiar. I think you can find her there standing over by the Penn State bench, but I'm not quite sure.
I think you might be right. Yes, it is Penn State's head coach. Went 8 for 13 that day. No errors, so she was on fire that day.
Impressive.
Good stuff. Bucknell gets a kill out of the timeout. Cuts it to a 4-point lead as Riley Tucker, and Emily Carney go back in. Riley Parker was on St. Francis men's basketball last year, so I'm getting my names mixed up.
Happens to the best of us, but also notable in terms of these two teams' matchups. They first played in 1976, but Penn State has lost just 2 sets against Bucknell ever, coming in the first ever match between the two teams in that 1976 match.
Selman gets another kill. Penn State all-time 41-1 against teams in the Patriot League. They lost one time. That was back in 1979 against Navy, the first year under head coach Russ Rose. And we know what happens if you're a Penn State fan. 7 national championships under his helm as Bucknell gets a kill off the touch. So Bucknell down 4, but definitely staying with Penn State at this point. Something that New Hampshire was kind of unable to do. They lost one of their sets to Kentucky, 25-5. Really took them for the third set against Penn State to get even. As Alexis Ewing finds the back row, her accuracy just getting better week in and week out.
It really is, and that back row really has been a strength of Penn State so far in this match. They're finding the holes in Bucknell's defense and driving the ball as hard as they can there.
To put Addie Lyon behind the line. Her third game as the starting setter. And she gets an ace right out of it. So first ace for either side comes off the hands of Addie Lyon, the former St. Louis Billikid. Now in a big role, replacing Izzy Stark, who stepped away from the team to prioritize her mental health. So Lyon, third start, she'll send it into the net. As the announcement came prior to the game against Kentucky on Friday. And of course, Katie Schumacher-Colley really impressed with what Addie Lyon's been able to do. Of course, a very experienced setter and one that she has a lot of faith in to captain the team in any facet.
Definitely the grad student. She's a transfer from St. Louis, but she came in, and again, we talk about leadership for either side. She came in knowing that it's now her time to be a leader in that position.
Grimes sets for Jaravicius, won't get the touch. It's kind of a wonky spot. Tried to get it down to no avail, so still a 4-point lead, but Bucknell unable to really break that buffer. Penn State just 3 away from gaining a set 1 victory. Selman shoves it forward, and Mendelson gets the kill. That really didn't even break a sweat for her that time.
A quick little shovel, just touch, I would say, over the net. Got her where she needed, and it's any play like that can cause some confusion if there's not players in the proper placements.
And we've talked to players in the past that say sometimes the slow speed stuff is what gets you, because there's some motion, some spin that you can't do with a fastball. As Nathan sends one to the net, Bucknell gets one back.
And it just changes the speed of play. I mean, both sides just are so used to hard hit balls and trying to defend all their corners and the outside of things, but when you have a well-placed just little nick over the net, can cause some trouble.
Yeah, last year, Katie Schumacher-Cole only had 2 players permitted by her to do even a top serve spin when serving. But it didn't matter. The leader in aces was Jillian Grimes, not always the fastest server. It really doesn't matter. It's like throwing your curveball out there. Selman shoves it forward. It was a punch over by Tarja. Back set from line to Caroline Jaravicious. Brings up set point for the Nittany Lions.
And one of the longer rallies in this match so far. I mean, Bucknell showing they can stay with it. And having 19 points on the board shows that, but now they need to defend their home side of the court.
Bucknell has 10 kills. Penn State 18 with that one for number 14, Caroline Jaravicious. And set one ends on a Jillian Grimes ace. Penn State takes set number 1, 25-19. And we'll take a break here on Big Ten Plus. Set 2 coming up next from Happy Valley.